On May 7, 1915, a premier British ocean liner was steaming toward Liverpool. The passengers aboard the RMS Lusitania were traveling through a declared naval war zone, yet many felt their status as civilians guaranteed their safety. A single torpedo impact normally shouldn't have been fatal. The ship carried a secondary hazard in its hold, a secret that doomed the passengers. Welcome to this day that year, where we break down complex historical geopolitical events in exactly 5 minutes. In just 18 minutes, the pride of the Cunard Line vanished. 1,198 people drowned off the coast of Ireland, including 128 Americans. As this map shows, the ship's route took it directly through a German-declared war zone. Berlin had warned that any vessel flying the British flag in these waters was considered hostile. Governments framed the sinking as a straightforward attack on civilians, but the mechanical reality of those 18 minutes shifted the definition of a naval target. The predator in these waters was the German submarine U-20, led by Walter Schwieger. His boat had been at sea for days, running low on fuel with only 3 torpedoes remaining. Just after 1 p.m., Schwieger spotted 4 massive funnels over the horizon. He immediately submerged to periscope depth and began his intercept course. At 2:10 p.m., Schwieger found his opening. From a distance of 700 meters, he fired a single torpedo that struck the liner's starboard side, just behind the bridge. Almost instantly, a second, much larger explosion erupted from deep within the ship. The force of this internal blast blew debris and water high into the air. It destroyed the bridge and knocked lifeboats off their davits, leaving the crew with no way to manage the sinking. Schwieger specifically noted in his war diary that he only fired 1 torpedo. He observed the second detonation through his periscope, questioning what could have caused such a violent reaction. As the news reached the mainland, the world was gripped by reporting of the disaster. Headlines detailed a chaotic scramble for survival that left over 1,000 people dead. If the submarine only fired once, what internal force caused the secondary blast that sent a 31,000-ton ship to the bottom in under 20 minutes? The escalation at sea was driven by events on land. The British Royal Navy had established a massive blockade to starve the German population, cutting off food and essential materials. Germany responded with an asymmetric counter-strategy, using submarines to enforce a war zone and sink any shipping suspected of supplying the British Isles. The sinking of the Lusitania turned this naval struggle into a political crisis. The deaths of 128 Americans ignited a wave of anti-German sentiment across the United States. The German government identified the Lusitania as a legitimate military target, citing the war supplies hidden in its hold. Britain denied the claim and used a private German commemorative medal to shift the narrative. The medal featured a skeleton selling tickets to passengers, with the slogan, "Business above all." The British government mass-produced replicas of this medal, distributing them to the American public to frame the Germans as a unique threat to civilization. This information war proved that civilians were no longer safe from the tactics of industrial warfare, eroding the public's sense of security, even on neutral ships. Was the German claim about military cargo actually correct? Modern research and unredacted manifests confirm the ship was secretly carrying over 4 million rounds of machine gun ammunition and thousands of shrapnel shells. The hold also contained 46 tons of aluminum powder. When this powder is kicked into the air by an impact, it can reach highly explosive concentrations. Ignited by munitions, coal dust, or aluminum powder, the U-boat's torpedo hit a hidden hazard in the ship's hold. The presence of military cargo turned a passenger liner into a valid military objective under the German rules of engagement. The cargo meant for the British Army, ironically, accelerated the ship's destruction. This event began a 2-year erosion of American neutrality, preparing the public for the eventual entry into the war in 1917. To see more breakdowns of the history that shaped our world, subscribe to the channel.